What's up YouTube, Jack Sutcliffe here and welcome back to JS Fitness, or if you're just tuning in, welcome. Today's video was a request by Martin. He's been asking some really good questions and I feel like it's something everyone would benefit from rather than just hitting him back up in the comments, so I hope you don't mind, Martin. So his question one was the cost of immigrating to Canada and just really how much do you need. So I was just crunching some numbers this morning because he gave us a good round figure. Overall, to immigrate to Canada, the Canadian government, the immigration process, state that you need around $15,500 Canadian dollars. So I'm just going to round that up to 16,000 Canadian dollars, just to make it easy for everyone to realize. Now, you need this $16,000 to just immigrate. You need that in a bank account the day you land to be able to come into the country. And this was one thing we was quite worried about in terms of when we're trying to rent an apartment and secure it, is we've technically got this pot of money. We're happy to put a deposit down on an apartment and put like 2-3 months rent down, but then that's going to deplete our cash even though we've technically used it for the 3 months we will be here, if that makes sense. Fortunately enough, that wasn't the case for us. Even though we are living in a great place, they didn't ask for a deposit. They didn't ask for so many months up rent prior to us landing. They just said, give us it when you arrive, which was super helpful, super useful. So yeah, first things first, you need 16,000 Canadian dollars in an account, which as of today, I did look this up quickly this morning before doing this video, just to kind of give you some real-time information. 16,000 Canadian dollars works out as, bear with me, this is in pounds, euros and USD. And are you going to be able to see that? Hopefully you can. If not, what I'm going to do is I will just pop a quick screenshot of that on this video. If not, I'll write it down below. It's whether or not it'll go on. So yeah, you want 16,000 Canadian dollars in your bank account, put to one side. Forget about that. And then after that, you're going to for the actual PR process, you're going to want around £2,500 to £3,000. I think it cost us about £2,500–3,000 for the PR process. I noticed just on there that in English pounds, the 16 grand only comes to about £9,500, which is easy to get depending on your circumstances. So yeah, you then need about £2,500–3,000 on top of that. So that's going to take you about to £12,500 to be able to complete the PR process and have the money to do so. After that, you're then going to have your flights to be able to come, and maybe a night or two overnight accommodation, which your flights, depending on whereabouts you're flying to, should only be costing you about £200–250 for a one-way flight from England to Canada, depending on where you're going. You can get them a bit cheaper, such as Vancouver or Toronto. So just shop around. I used Skyscanner, and that was the cheapest, the most affordable option. I also flew with WestJet, so that way I'm accruing frequent flyer miles, and WestJet dollars again can go towards future flights, free holidays. So yeah, with the flights and that, we're probably looking at about £13,500 to £14,000. You're then going to have your actual moving fees, such as like the company that's going to send you all your stuff over. In England, we used a company called PSS Removals, and that's because they are accredited British Association of Removers or something like that. They're accredited by them, and then they're also accredited by somebody else, which just made us feel that a bit more reassured that we are going to get our documents. When we did look at reviews for pretty much all of these companies, they were mix and match. Trust me, guys, like we were really worried. We're thinking, what if our stuff doesn't arrive? What if it ends up broken? Blah, blah, blah. It was just really worrying. We only sent about 11 boxes, and they were probably about that big, 18 by 18 inches. So they're big enough, pretty big boxes. And we sent 10 or 11 of them. They were 21 kilos each, and that cost us around 1,000/1,100. So just to round it up, you're looking at £15,000 straight away. We didn't bring any furniture, any heavy equipment, TVs, like one of the viewers were asking, got some music equipment, stuff like that. We didn't bring any of that stuff because, again, it's big, it's bulky, it weighs a lot, and it could very easily get damaged / destroyed in the process. All of our stuff ended up arriving, no problems, which was great. There was only one box which were absolutely destroyed, and we thought, you know what, there's going to be nothing left in this. Touch wood though, it was all there, couldn't complain with that, but the box was in bad shape. We sent a load of glasses over and cups and that, because we're a bit sentimental like that, and only 3 of them ended up broken. So really can't complain with that, but like I say, we didn't, any kind of electrical goods like cameras, phones, iPads, laptops, we carried them onto the plane. It just, for us, wasn't worth risking. So I'd probably say look at how much your stuff costs, or if you haven't bought it yet, hold off, because electrical goods or electronics are cheaper out here. So, and if you have just bought it, then good luck to you. That's all I can say, good luck. So you've got the import goods. If you are wanting to bring furniture and stuff like that, you're going to want to probably use cargo, so like a cargo ship, as opposed to we used air freight, so it is a little bit more expensive, but we got it within a week. So as opposed to cargo can take a bit longer, a couple of weeks, depending on how long you're waiting. So it just depends, really. It just depends. So yeah, you've got the $9,500 for the money to be able to come. You've then got the $2,500–3,000 for the process. That's probably around each, so it's not cheap. You've then, like I say, got about £500, let's say, for your accommodation and flights. You've then got about £1–1.5 depending on what you're bringing, and that's if you're just bringing clothes and stuff like that. I'm trying to think of the other big things. Oh yeah, we needed to have a medical, which depending on, again, where you get that done, that can cost a bit more. And like for us, we had to have proof of our, me and my partner, me and my missus, being like common law, because we weren't married, but had been together for like 6 years at the time. So we needed to pay a nominee, or so I can't remember what the word was called. We had to pay a certain someone, basically £150 for 10 minutes to sign a piece of paper. A police officer and all of that can't do it. It has to be solely someone that's got this nominee status. I can't remember what it is though. You won't see that recommended online if you're not married. It doesn't say it on the forms or anything, so that was just something we stumbled across in terms of to do, and that, like I said, helps speed up our process. Trying to think of any other outstanding costs. I think that's about it. The other thing that I did check for the guy that was asking was, would their lump sum be enough? So I just quickly crunched the number, and their number was coming through at about $33,500 Canadian dollars, which, if that's the pot of money you've got to land in the country with, then you're going to be okay. If you've got that for everything, it might be a bit tight. So just bear that in mind. So for us, with our 15,000 Canadian dollars, we had to buy like 2 cars, so we had to put pretty much 10 grand of that straight down for a deposit. Granted, we came over with a bit more than that. I think it was around 20,000 Canadian dollars, so it did help offset a bit. So it just depends. It depends on where you're living, like your rent and everything, how much you like to go out, your quality of life when you first arrive. We said that because we knew we had jobs, we didn't want to be restricted, we wanted to enjoy ourselves from day one, have meals, furnish the apartment nicely rather than scrimp and scrape, we wanted to live a bit. So our money went down, just didn't last us as long as what it could have, but again, we knew we had jobs, so we could afford to spend that bit more, as opposed to if you haven't got a job, you might just want to live a bit more of a minimalist lifestyle until you've got the income coming in, because once that money goes, if you haven't got a job, you've got to go back. The big plan's fallen through, so do just bear that in mind. Getting that dry throat, it's first thing on the morning. I think that's pretty much it from the money aspect. Like I say, If that's all you're coming with, if that's for the whole process, it might be a bit tight. If you've got that as well as the separate money to complete your PR, then you'll be absolutely grand. So yeah, but as always, anyone, if you've got any questions or anything, just ask me them down below. I try to reply super quick and give you as much information as possible. So yeah, I've recently set up a Patreon page, which I'll put the link up somewhere. I've solely set this up because YouTube has recently changed their policy to the point now where we can't monetize our videos, which I wasn't making much before off it, but you know, it was just a couple of dollars here and there, which just kind of helped fund the channel, help pay for the videos, stuff like that. So, you know, if you're finding these videos are useful, you know, you wanted to support me doing them, or even you wanted a bit of like one-to-one consulting, a bit more of a personal service or something like that, or even you're wanting to have a say in the next video or the direction of the videos or channel, go check that out. You know, help support me, help support everyone else out there trying to come to such a great country, and let's do this together. As always, everyone, I hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you later.